So it has been a while since I've had anything to talk about here on the channel, much less a helmet. As a matter of fact, how long has it been? That was a long time. Okay, regardless, let's get into this. All right, welcome to another episode of Paul's Collectibles. It's good to have you. Thank you for joining me as always. And today, once again, I'm super excited. After starting off the year really strong with a bunch of helmets and rapid fire, kind of ran across a 3-month dry spell there or so, but I'm back in business. And this time with a helmet that I kind of had to find out about in a way that I don't normally. It just kind of was sprung on me on YouTube and it was already released. As far as I can tell, this brand name on this helmet is just Star Wars. It's not Hasbro, it's not from Novos, it's not from anywhere else. And it's the 187th Clone Trooper helmet, which was Mace Windu's battalion that came from the Disney store, or Disney Online, Disney Store Shopping, or whatever the heck it's called. But like I said, I didn't learn about it until I saw it on YouTube, and I was like, wait a minute, those sneaky sons of guns released a helmet and didn't tell me about it. So today, we're gonna get it out of the box, see how it's packed really fast, and then get it in front of some lights, see how it looks compared to just helmets in general, and whether or not it holds up to the Hasbro models as well. Okay, so as always, we'll start off with the box, and this looks very similar to the Black Series boxes, but of course, not quite. It's just the square, or maybe rectangle if you want to be very specific about it, and it doesn't have the cutout on the corner, and it doesn't have the different shades that we get on the Black Series boxes. And I looked at this thing over pretty extensively, and the only brand name I can see on it is Star Wars. So I guess it's a Disney manufactured product or something to that effect. And as you can see, they've just got different views of the helmet, and here it actually tells you about some of the features of the helmet on each side. It's nothing really intricate. Now, where they make up for a lack of intricacy, let's put it that way, is I don't even know if you're going to be able to see it. But the box itself has really, really tiny, what I would like to call hieroglyphics, like what you would see inside the Pharaoh's tomb on the walls or something like that. And it's all little small Star Wars related things like Darth Vader's helmet or the Mandalorian logo or an AT-AT or the Millennium Falcon. And they're just really small in there and they're slightly raised. So the rest of the box, albeit outside of the helmet pictures and stuff, is really intricate and it's really cool to have. Let's see how they pack this thing inside, since this is one of the first ones of these I've ever opened. Okay, so you get the lid open. It looks pretty much like the inside of the Black Series box. There's that retention piece of cardboard. Then the top of the helmet, it looks like this is going to be all in one piece, so we don't have to put anything together. Helmet comes out wrapped in plastic. And then inside the box, there's styrofoam at the bottom, and it actually comes with, I'm guessing these are Velcro in pads, so you can wear it. Let's get this thing downstairs in front of some lights on the review table and take a look at it. Okay, so when you first get it out of the package, this is what you're getting. There is the helmet itself, and then there's this bag, as I showed you earlier, of what looks to be 2 pads with some little Velcro things on top. I'm not going to take those out, so you can put some pads in there to make it more comfortable on your head. Okay, first off, we're going to go over just the overall look of the helmet, and it's actually pretty good. It's not bad. It's just a little bit more toy looking than some of the recent Hasbro helmets that we've been getting, and their weathering, but it's still not bad. This is obviously painted on here. It's not 3-dimensional. You got some gray marks up here. These feel painted on too. They're not really 3-dimensional. There's some weathering in the brow here. The brow seems a little thin to me, but we'll check that on comparison. The lenses are very thick and sturdy, pretty dark. There's weathering around the purple down in here. And as with many of these helmets, this looks like real metal, but it's probably plastic, but feels really good. Overall, the front of the helmet and the overall look is not bad at all. It's pretty good. There's a little bit of weathering in the purple brow. Now, the first thing that I noticed when I took this out, and I will be honest with you, I don't think I have any other examples of the 187th Clone Troopers. This is Mace Windu's battalion, and I thought they were more purple. Like, this seems a little dark as far as the purple is concerned, and I thought some of these other accents around here should have been purple as well. So I'll throw up a picture or two of those that I can find on the internet for comparison. And then you decide whether or not that's going to be a make or break if you decide that you might want to buy this helmet. But as we come around, you can continue to see more of the weathering here. It's got the nice, it's kind of hard to see in the camera play, but there's like a little bit of dirt residue down in here. And then this is three-dimensional, which I think is really cool. That's not a decal. This isn't weathered at all in here, and it feels like some sort of like a chromatic or like a more metallic paint as opposed to this, which is just a little bit more flat up here, and this is kind of gloss. So they're using like different types of paint all over the place. And then as we keep coming around, there's a little bit of like discoloring right here, like it's like a rust. Whether like someone took a very light airbrush and went right over it very, very lightly. Not sure what that's supposed to be. Now here's one of the biggest problems I have with the helmet thus far. It came all put together, so this isn't my fault, but this side piece is really, really flexible over here. I mean, look at that. And even when you just let go of it, there's a huge crack. And I can't see, we're gonna skip ahead to the inside. I can't see anything in the inside that's supposed to prevent that from happening, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'll have to do a little bit of research to see if there's something that prevents it from doing that. But if that's just how it is, that's very new to me. Now that also might be because they're worried about people having super huge heads and needing to stretch it out a little bit. I don't know. I only display it, so obviously I'll have to figure out a way to keep that really close together so it doesn't look really silly. But as we keep coming around, it's got these little gray blotches all over it. They're just little touches of paint. They're not even three-dimensional. Back here, this is just flat. And this is normally where the voice changer stuff would go on the Hasbro, but there is nothing here that I can see. Now there is a screw right there, but it looks like that's the other side of the screw, like it comes in from the inside. And this is a lot less intricate, I think, than what we're used to. Keep coming around. And then once again, same problem over here. Like the whole back of this helmet stretches out. I mean, you can see it up there at the top where it comes out and everything. So hopefully they meant for that to happen, or I didn't get like a weird defective one. I mean, it pops right back into place and it feels pretty elastic, as if that's done on purpose, which is the oddest thing about this helmet to me so far. But the side, there's nothing so shocking or surprising over here. They did actually put a little bit of the gray weathering in this part right there. You can probably just barely see it. And then for the most part, it's exactly like the other side. These are three-dimensional. There's a little bit of grading or webbing or whatever you want to call them in there. Let's look at the inside really fast and see what it looks like. Now the inside is kind of plain. I will tell you, I tried this on my head. It fits really well. There's a nose piece right in here that rests against your nose, which is very nice to have. And then the mouthpiece is right there. I think that's where the voice changer goes. And if you look up top, you see the battery pack up in there, and then there's some switches. I'm not going to bother with the battery pack on this one. I apologize for that. I don't find them to be all that impressive, and I'm not really interested. So we're going to leave it alone, but I don't see anything. And then these gaps on the side right here have holes. There's holes where the vent is. I guess that's to let some air in there so you can breathe, because there's one on this side as well. But if you look inside the helmet, there does not seem to be any way to keep that thing from coming apart like that. So I don't know. That's really weird. But there it is. It's also a little bit less than the Black Series helmets. I think this one ran about $100, whereas the Black Series helmets are approaching $150 at the rate they're going. It's really cool to look at. I would probably display it. Overall, not a bad helmet. Nothing to get too excited about, and I'm not sure how screen accurate for where we've seen these guys this purple and teal color is, but still a nice, fun addition. Really quick, just for the heck of it, let's put one of the Black Series Phase 2 helmets up against it and see what the differences are. Okay, so we're really taxing the size limitations of my review table here, so you're going to see a little of the background that it's mounted on the sides, and I apologize for that. But this is the Ahsoka 332nd Phase 2 Clone Trooper from Hasbro. I would compare it to the plain one, but my plain one is actually stored away and I didn't feel like dragging it out. But this is basically the same helmet as that plain one, just with the weathering and the orange on there. And this, of course, is the Disney Plus one that we just got, or Disney Plus, or Star Wars, whatever it's called, whatever that brand name is. It's from the Disney store. And the first thing I can tell you, first off, this one is much more significant feeling, much thicker feeling, and a lot heavier. Whereas this one's a lot lighter, and I think the gauge on the plastic is a little bit less than this one. And that would be my guess, because this one just seems thicker and more substantial when you compare the two next to each other. Now, as far as deco goes, there's not a big difference. I mean, this is kind of toyish looking, but still passable. This is kind of toyish looking, but still passable. And there's really nothing to complain about. Now, the grills on the front, see, as you can see, this overall helmet, and I hope it shows up on camera because sometimes it's like a trick of the camera lens that it looks like certain helmets are bigger than others, but this one is actually bigger. Now, funny thing is, this is way smaller, obviously. It fits on my head, but this one is way bigger. You can see everything is taller and higher on this one than it is on this one. So there's more, maybe it's thicker underneath as well, but the spaces in here seem to be the same. This is curved right in here, whereas this is built over top. And this is a little bit more narrow here than this. And this is like beveled right in here. It's almost like tri-beveled. There's a bevel here, and then you get another bevel on as you're coming around, and then the final one, whereas this is just an abrupt 90-degree angle. So there is that difference. They look pretty similar, but like I said, this one is obviously bigger and more substantial. And this one is a little bit smaller and it's a little lighter, obviously. And just looking at the front of them, you can see. Let's take a look at the sides really quick and see if there's any huge difference. Now, once again, I think, wow, this actually is this is a very huge tell. You can really see how much bigger the Hasbro helmet is as compared to the Star Wars brand or Disney brand helmet there. That's significant. That's a significant change. Other than that, most of the finishes seem the same. The brow seems to be the same width, other than the big crack where it comes apart. This is a little silly looking. So these are 3 like speed bumps, whereas this is just 2 indentions, so there is that difference as well. But these are all 3-dimensional. This is black in here, but this is kind of like a bluer. Let's take a look at the backs. Okay, and here's where the Star Wars Disney one really falls behind as far as the Hasbro. The Hasbro has this 3-dimensional raised dial around the side. It's got the 3-dimensional effects cut-ins inside. This is like a 3-dimensional comb. This is just like a raised line and 2 circles right here. They're just raised ever so slightly. No dial on the outside and flat here, and then some sort of weird miscoloring down here. And this is, of course, where the voice changer batteries go on this one. So you see a little bit of the crease there, which is one of the better ways I've seen them camouflage that. But there you have it. There's the Star Wars branded, I suppose, Disney store Phase 2 helmet of the Mace Windu clone battalion. Is this a fairly good looking helmet? Yeah. Does it have some flaws? Absolutely. I think we've showed them. And compared to the Hasbro helmet, although it is a little less expensive, it really doesn't hold a huge candle to the Hasbro one. It's a little lighter, it's a little less, it's a little smaller, and it's a little thinner gauge and just feels a little bit more toyish compared to the Hasbro one. And of course, it has those huge cracks in the side and the back where it stretches open for people with bigger heads, I guess, but it fits on me, and I have a size 8 head, so who knows what size they were going for. Now, am I happy to have this helmet? Yes, because I think just put away in a display, it'll look really cool from a few feet away, and it's nice to have this purple deco. I'm a huge Mace Windu fan, Sam Jackson fan all the way, so it's nice to have this helmet. But is it one that if like you're gonna cosplay or you're gonna mess around with, or you're only gonna pick just a few helmets, do I think you need to run out there and get this helmet, or you're gonna, FOMO, you're gonna miss out on it? I really don't think so, unless, like I said, you're just into this purple deco, which looks beautiful. It's not something that I think you need to get super excited about. And finally, in closing, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, maybe consider doing that for me. That's a great way to support my efforts here at Paul's Collectibles. Or if you're a subscriber or somebody who's been watching my videos for a really long time, you already know I greatly appreciate having you. And with that, I'll see you on the next video.